Born and dead, saved by love, count my blessing from above.
And good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, depending upon where you are around the world. I am Marcus Holmes, and I am thankful and grateful that you have joined me for another episode of Love and Stuff. It's really a video cast all about our Love and Stuff community, and a lot of people focus intently on relationships, and we talk about that here. A lot of people focus intently on the love interest, right? Because everybody wants to have that husband, wife, boo, or bae, right? Or significant other. But there are so many expressions of God's love in this world that he intended for us to experience and for us to give. And so we hope that in Love and Stuff, we cover the gamut and not just some of the most salacious topics, but we also do salacious topics as well. Take a moment, whether you are watching us live here on Love and Stuff from the Inside of Love and Stuff page or the Love and Stuff community or any of the other love groups that we're connected to, the Marcus R. Holmes page. If you're watching us on Twitch TV or YouTube events, and thank you for those of you that are joining us via YouTube events, and a number of you are beginning to watch the sleep video that we have there. I hope that you have a great sleep, and if you're interested in a good night's sleep, we'll send that link to you. But take a moment and click share and tag someone to join us. 5 of your closest connections or friends, 5 of your more popular ones to join us in the discussion. Tonight, we maybe don't talk as much about the topic of love in the traditional sense, but right inside of our Love and Stuff community, there is an opportunity to talk about love and a need to show love. I believe that we're called to increase the amount of love in the world. And here is an opportunity for you and I to do that with someone who is familiar, a part of our Love and Stuff community. She is author Ingrid Poole, who I've had the pleasure and privilege to know her and her brother for many, many years, the late Apostle Chris Poole. But Ingrid and I go back a number of years, and she is a beautiful family and now is married, happily married, and thankful for that. And she even took some of that advice and rolled it up into her beauty and love and made some Love and Stuff. And I love it. And sometimes along this path of love, we run into some bumps and we run into some twists and some turns that sometimes make us shiver and shake unbelievably. And so Ingrid and her family have happened upon such a terrible tragedy that has occurred in their life. And we are here to not only wrap our arms around Ingrid, but hoping that as she shares some of the beautiful story about her granddaughter, and she'll tell us more about her, that you will find that even in the darkest places, your love can help to carry you through. And I'm hoping that you will join the Love and Stuff community in helping this family make their way through. So I am asking that you will click share and tag someone. Thank those of you that have joined us: Marilyn Hamilton, Vanita Smith, Ernest Evans, Kim Wilson, Felix Holmes, Evelyn Graham, Larry Posley, excuse me. All of you, I hope you will click share and tag someone to join us as I bring on the camera with me
some color.
Ingrid Curtis Poole. Hello there. How are you?
I'm blessed to be here. I'm just grateful for this opportunity, and I really want you to know that I appreciate it. I had no idea what you were going to do, but I'm just grateful for any opportunity to try to get the word out for
Yes.
this cause that just
Yes.
so happened to be for my family this time.
Yeah. And that's, Ingrid, that's how it is, isn't it? You never know
Yeah.
when you are going to be the person that may be on the end of needing. You're a person
Mhm.
who understands give and gives, and you never know where life will bring you. And so
Yeah.
it's our pleasure. I don't believe that the platform will be worth anything if it's not helping somebody. And so
Right.
I wanted
Right.
to take some time tonight, especially to be as much as we can a blessing. And I'm going to put up the ways in which we can give. I want you to
Okay.
tell me a little bit about first, for people who may not know much about you. Tell me a little bit about Ingrid Poole, the mother. Tell me a little bit about Ingrid Poole, the mother.
Well, I'm 53. I had Asia when I was 24. She's the mother of the darling baby girl who um, was taken from us.
Mhm,
And I have a 17-year-old Amaya.
mhm,
And the Lord is just awesome because He blessed me to raise them as a single mother.
mhm.
And then He blessed me with a husband at 49 years old.
And I want to stop there real quick and tell people don't give up on love,
Don't give up.
because
Don't give
love
up.
could be right under your nose. It could be right
Yes.
around the corner. It could be at the stoplight.
Yeah.
It could be in the Five Below. It can be in Meyer, Kroger's, or as we
Right.
say, Myers, Kroger's with the S on it.
Mhm.
It could be any of
Mhm.
those places.
Yes, it
And
can.
so I had the privilege to kind of watch you as a young mother and really working hard to be an example and model that behavior
Mhm.
for your daughter. And so tell me what it was like for you to become a grandmother.
Oh, well, Laurii'ell made me a grandmother.
Mhm,
She's my first grandchild.
mhm,
8 years ago, she was born, and she was the first child born in the region of West Virginia. We were in Fairmont, West Virginia at the
mhm,
time,
mhm,
and she was the first baby born January 2nd,
mhm.
whatever time of day that was. She was the first baby born within like three or four hospitals. So
Wow.
it was in the newspaper. It was a really big deal. They gave Asia a basket full of goodies. It was just a really, really, really good time.
Mhm,
And then it's just the way life happens. She came into this world with a news article, and she left us with a news article.
yeah.
So either way, we just trust God throughout everything that has happened and what's going to happen in the future. But she was a very happy baby, happy child. We're silly anyway. We're a very silly group of people.
Mhm,
So she just, all our four grandbabies now. She's my first,
mhm,
and it's just been a complete joy. You have no idea how much you can love somebody until you're a grandmother. It's different. It's a
mhm,
difference
mhm,
in the type of love that you can have. You definitely love your own,
mhm,
but when it's that grandchild, and I didn't understand that
mhm,
until I became a grandmother. So I
mhm,
totally get it. I was like, this child can have whatever they want. And I grew
mhm,
up telling my daughter no. All her
mhm,
life, I'm saying? It's just a difference. I'm sorry. It's just a difference in
mhm.
the love and the responsibility because you are second in command to the mom and dad. It's like you're next.
Mhm,
And you take on that responsibility of helping to nurture and make sure everything's okay and make sure everything's moving as smoothly as possible. So being a grandparent is is just a continual blessing
mhm.
to being the parent. It definitely is.
Yeah, and you shared with me off camera some of the things that you used to do deal with your grandchildren around the house, and tell us a little bit about that. I thought that was grandma central to me, Ingrid, because
Oh
I
yeah, I have
every
anybody
kid
know
adores their
me?
grandmother for that.
They when they come over, because my two grandsons are here now.
Okay.
And just to show you how trained they are, because I work from home, so I'm
Mhm,
at my desk where I usually am, and I have on, you know, these different earbud things that when I have my other earbuds on, they know not to bother grandma when
Mhm.
grandma's talking because this is business. I can't talk right now. I can't play right now. So
Mhm.
part of the thing they used to do when they come over to keep them busy, they have letters that they play on the refrigerator. I have school time with them. They watch the man because I worked at a school for years, so I know exactly what they were doing. So we watch the learning things on YouTube. We have the different learning toys. We have the different learning toys that we use to just keep them busy. We have playtime. They have their toys. We color. We paint. A lot of the things that they do in school, they were
Mhm.
doing right here with me.
Mhm.
My baby Amaya, she's 17. She would help the two girls who were in school with their work and whatnot, and I would check it so they would know they had to do right. So don't just do that work. Grandma's
Mhm.
gonna check it, so then they'll come back, okay, and then they'll um, try to do it right or will get the help that they needed. But I think they liked coming over here. Because one thing about that, Marcus, I enjoyed my grandmother. My
Mhm.
grandmother passed when she was 85, 86 years old. And
Mhm.
one thing I remembered and cherished with her was I enjoyed my time with her. I
Mhm.
didn't she was an active grandmother, and I've always wanted to be an active grandmother, as active as
Mhm.
I could be. So
Mhm.
like my grandson's been here with me. They've been with me to the bank. We went to go take grandpa to work. They went to sleep in the car. You know what I'm saying? They're part of me. I didn't
Mhm.
have them,
Mhm.
but they are a very active part of me.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I would imagine, and having them there with you, and when we talked a little bit about them doing pictures, and you just had things laid out so well for them to keep them busy and keep them
Mhm.
involved, and I think that's a wonderful tribute to your grandmother because it sounds like that's
Mhm.
the same kind of thing that she did with you. Oh,
Yes, she was very active with, especially this time of year, Easter time. We used
mhm,
to make all kind of stuff. Back in the day when they used to put the pins, the straight pins with some different beads and what in the soap
mhm, mhm,
to make air freshener mix for the bathroom and stuff,
mhm,
little
mhm.
things like that. We used to do that kind of stuff with my grandmother. She just used to find stuff for us to do, and like she would have more fun with it than us.
Yeah, yeah,
So we just, I just appreciate that, and I'm just glad to know, and even with Laurii'ell passing, I'm glad to know that she knew that I loved her. I know she loved me, and I know that she knew that she was loved by her family.
yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about her? What was she like, this beautiful little 8-year-old? I'm gonna flash her picture up so people can see. I got a
Okay.
little picture of her there. What
Okay.
what what can you tell us about L'Oreal? Which
Um,
is such a
like I said,
beautiful name, and I love the
she
spelling too.
oh yeah, Asia, my oldest is Asia, her mom, and she's, beautiful. She don't like to take a lot of pictures and stuff, but both of my children, I'm glad to say, they're beautiful, like their mama.
Mhm,
So L'Oreal was very beautiful. And her sister Lauren is beautiful. Her brothers are handsome. It's just a wonderful, beautiful family. So with her being the oldest, she was already getting into her older sister mode. She would be, fussing at the kids and making sure they're being good. And, she just would be, she was already walking in her older sister ship.
mhm,
She took that role on, and it would be funny because when they'd come over here, of course they'd all tell on each other, and I say, okay, well, what did he do, and what did he do, and what did they do? They say, yeah, and they did this. I say, okay, so everybody did something, and then they be like, yeah. I was like, okay, okay, as long as you tell the truth, everybody did something,
mhm,
but just take care of each other, and because I'll be telling them, don't get my daughter, because that's their mama, and I'm like, don't be giving my daughter a hard time. Y'all gotta be nice and don't have her fussing at y'all all the time. It's for y'all and one of her. So y'all
mhm,
gotta help her like you do here. Be good for her like you are here for me.
mhm,
So but she's very helpful. Her and Noon I call well her nickname was Mamadou.
mhm,
So L'Oreal was my Mamadou. and
Hmm.
Lauren is my Nunu. So
Hmm.
Mama Do and Nunu would help Maya in the kitchen. They would get in the chair and wash dishes and help her cook. And, it was just, they just really enjoyed their family time.
Yeah. Now, how did she get the nickname Mama Do?
Just me being weird when I saw her and just being around her as a little baby. I never really call kids their name. I
Yeah.
really don't.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, you're not, okay. I know your mama said that, but I'm gonna call you this. And they'd be like, okay, okay. Okay, so they're like, where'd she get that from? Don't you worry about that. Nah, that's our thing. That's our thing. So Mama Do, Nunu, Junior is Junior, but he was Man Man. Now he's Junior,
Hmm.
and Xavion is Zay.
Okay.
So
So
I give him all the name.
did Mama Do have a special toy, a favorite thing? Tell us a little
Oh
bit.
my lord, Mama, listen here. Mama Do love them YouTubers.
Mm.
She loved the YouTubers. I don't know their names, but all of them to me just run around the house screaming. But that's my age. That's my age, and it's like I can only handle that for a few minutes. So she
Mhm.
get the remote because she was the oldest, so she control TV because I be at my computer because I
Yeah.
have two monitors. So I
Mhm.
put on a headset and I drown all that out. But
Mhm.
I can only handle that screaming so long. You know what I'm saying? I know they making a lot of money and God bless them, but I've just some of them YouTube things I can't take for too long.
Yeah.
And then once they watch a few of them, then the boys will be like, "I'm ready to jump." Then we'll put something on so they can jump and get the energy out. Then we'll put on the man count to 100 or talking about the alphabet or different stuff like that. So they just regular kids are sitting trying to quiet down, trying to quiet them down.
Yeah.
Then they'll put on a regular cartoon so that they can just sit still and watch TV.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We're
we have. Oh,
talking.
I got it down. I got that down. I can't. I got gray hair. I ain't trying to get no extra ones.
Yeah. We're
But
talking to
one.
Ingrid Poole Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can tell, she is a proud grandma. A
Mm,
good anybody that's got a good grandma or had one, drop in the comments. Your grandma knew each of her grandchildren. Now, grandmothers can have 20 grandchildren, and they'll
right.
know their specific ways and habits and give them nicknames and
Yes.
give them peppermints and make them pies and
Yes. Yes.
food
Yes.
and let them get away with murder. And the parents are wondering, why did you do that? Because you never let me
But
do it.
look.
Right?
So you see this?
Yes.
This is what my dad would call riot control.
Oh, I see.
So I have it on the side of my desk, right on the
Hmm.
other side of me. And if they getting out of hand, I'll just say, let me get my comb. Let me get that comb. And it's quiet as church mouse in here
Okay.
because I don't have to get them. I got them when they were younger. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So I don't have to pop them too much. Now they will get it,
Yeah.
but I really don't have to get them because I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, just calm down. It's time to slow down now. It's time to calm down now. Now this is how crazy it is. The baby will tell me to get it so he can look at it. I'm like, you want somebody to get in trouble? And he'll be like, yeah. I'm like, no, nobody getting in trouble today. Nobody getting in trouble. Everybody gonna be good.
Yeah.
So he's just funny. He's funny too already at 3. He's like, get that comb right there. And I'm
Wow.
like, what are you saying? He want me to get the comb so he can see it. I said, you just want to see it? Okay. Then I
Yeah.
put it back in my basket.
I want to just welcome Leonard Forrest has joined us, Eunice Hunter, Carolyn Bishop, Chris Bryan. I hope all of you will click share. We're talking with Ingrid Poole, and we're hoping that you will help us to increase the amount of love in the world. As you can see, she is a grandmother who loves her children. And if you can hearken back to your grandmother's voice, if you can imagine her scent, you can imagine what these children experience with Ingrid. And unfortunately, one of those angels was taken away from us
Yeah.
tragically through an apartment fire in which this family lost more than their possessions. They lost the sweetest of all possessions, their child. So, Ingrid, I
Yeah.
want to talk to you before this happened. When was the last time that you talked to or saw Laurii'ell, and what was that like?
It was, I think it was the weekend before because they would come over sometimes just because, or they would come over when their parents' work schedules
Hmm.
didn't meet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see if I can see her picture in this book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they can see it because it's black and white.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you see that?
I can see it. Yes.
She's at the top of this picture right here.
Okay. Okay.
But
With the crown on, is that her with the
yeah,
crown
that's the
on?
birthday crown. Yeah, but
Okay.
some of those pictures are in my Facebook too.
Okay.
Most of them, because I usually put them there, and then they stay there for a while or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I had saw her. The fire happened on a Wednesday, last week Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw them maybe Saturday or Sunday before that.
Okay.
So they had came over, same thing, YouTube videos, snacks, you know, whatever. They could be in just ate, and they coming in want something to eat,
Mm-hmm.
snack on, because they know I have it. I
Mm-hmm.
have it up, put away for them.
Yeah.
So they were here. Everything was fine. They got picked up. Everything was fine. Talked to Asia a few times a day, whatever, normal talking around, checking on what you're doing. Are they coming over today? Blah, 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 whatever. Normal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday morning, 4 something in the morning, I get a call. I'm thinking, because Asia works midnights.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking maybe she pocket dialed me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't respond because sometimes the kids call me by mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, they paying attention, trying to drift off to sleep. She called me right back. Mama, get to the apartment, it's on fire, blah, 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 blah. I'm not really sure what she said. I moved so fast. I got there because she doesn't live that far from me. It wasn't that far from me. I'm 8 John R. She was like 8.5 and DeQuinder
Mm-hmm.
in that Warren Manor.
Mm-hmm.
Got there, smoke everywhere. It was so thick and black. And I have a Ford Focus, so I'm low to the ground. That smoke was low. That's how the car's low, the smoke was low. I got out. I had to immediately cover my face with my clothes because that's how thick the smoke was. But I was trying to find them. And they were like, you got to leave. You got to leave. You too close. You too close. You can't be here. I'm like, I'm looking for my son and my grandkids. And it was just, the fire trucks and ambulances and chaos. And I'm like, oh my God. So I left the front of the front of her doorway, that part of the building. I went around to the other end of the apartment by her back door.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Um, Fire departments, everything's going crazy. I'm like, I'm looking for them. Where are they at? Where are they at? So I finally found a neighbor who had the dad and Junior in the car with them. No shoes, raining, cold. Oh, it was terrible. So they got in my car with me. Asia's sister had got there, Shandora, and Michael. No, she had Zay and Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think of their real names because of my nickname.
And now
So
so that we know, Zay and Lauren are the youngest two, or which ones?
Zay is the baby.
Okay.
Junior is above him.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren is the oldest girl now.
Okay. Okay.
So Lauren Lauren and Zay was with Asia's sister. So
Mm-hmm.
once we knew we had everybody, because Asia was still at work, so we brought everybody to my house. And when Asia got off work, she came to my house, and Laurii'ell was immediately took to children in ambulance.
Okay.
So we didn't get Laurii'ell was already gone to the hospital.
Okay.
So when Asia got here, everybody went to children's to get checked out. So I did a small video explaining what was going on, explaining, just pray, 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 because that's all I know to do. I don't know nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So, we immediately, put the text out, pray, this is what's happening, da 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 da. I did a small live, pray, this is what's happening, da 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 da, whatever. When the children got checked out, they came back to my house so that they could concentrate on being with Laurii'ell.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I went Saturday
Mm-hmm.
because until then, nobody was allowed but the mother and the father.
Okay.
So I was in constant contact with Asia, talking with her. We agreed and believed that they were doing everything they could. She was satisfied with the care that Laurii'ell was receiving.
Mhm.
She, had breathed in. She had physical flame burns
Mhm.
on her face, her arms, her hands. Her fingers were individually wrapped, bandaged because of wait, I keep looking at that. Her fingers were individually bandaged because they got fire. So um each day there were additional issues
Mhm.
that they were trying to handle for her, and they were trying to keep her sedated so that they could keep her calm and keep it, and be able to work with her. And each day brought its own challenges.
Mhm.
And I went Saturday for myself so I can see and pray, and I anointed her body. And I just asked God to just take over and just help her. The teams were coming in. The teams were coming in to work with her.
Mhm.
And I was, explaining to Asia what they were doing and what they were saying because they were just talking. When it's like that, it's like you feel like you're in a dream. It's like something on TV,
Mhm.
and you're like, they're talking so fast and they're saying all these medical terms, and you're not really sure what's going on. And this baby got all this stuff plugged up to her, and it's a whirlwind
Mhm.
experience.
Mhm.
But I just tried to stay prayerful. I had people praying with me. On the way there. I had people praying with me on the way home. I had people praying with me throughout the day. Because Saturday, I just felt that morning that I had to be there.
Mhm.
So Asia asked them if I could come. They said yes. I went up there from like 10 o'clock to 3.
Mhm.
And then I left and came to see about the other 3 kids
Mhm.
and pick up my husband from work. So
Mhm.
by the time I left, I had talked to one of the surgeons because she had 2 or 3 different teams working with her. And I asked him if he knew a timeline. And he told me that day.
So before you move forward, I want to just Amber Dior, Krista Williams, Dennis Page, and others that are joining us. We're talking with Ingrid Poole Curtis, whose beautiful 8-year-old daughter Laurii'ell succumbed to an apartment
Granddaughter.
fire. Granddaughter, I'm sorry, succumbed to an apartment fire in which her family lost all of their belongings and their precious daughter, and
Mhm.
Ingrid's granddaughter. So when you
Mhm.
said a timeline, that was that Saturday after it had happened. Were you asking, was it a timeline for prognosis or you thought a timeline for something else? Can you clarify that?
I asked him because of what they were saying and because of what they were doing and because of the way were working with her.
Mhm.
And he was saying that the things they were doing was not helping or giving them the result that they needed.
Mhm.
I asked him if he had a timeline for her life.
Gotcha. So at that point,
He told me
Ingrid,
that day.
you're a good grandmother and a good mother, and you've been loving on these children and loving on your um, grandchildren, and you go to the hospital to see for yourself, and he tells you, you ask for a timeline because you see how intensively they're
Hmm.
working, and
Hmm.
things aren't going well, and he tells you this day. What
Hmm.
fills your mind at that point? What fills your heart at that point?
At that point, I instantly just started praying for my daughter. And I told her because I had already anointed Laurii'ell. Asia was there. She saw me. I explained what I was doing. I said, it's up to God and her now. He's telling you that they've done all they can do. Because as the mother, she couldn't wrap that around her head. And I understand that. And we don't give up. We don't give up. We still pray. We still ask God for the
Mhm.
miracle. We still ask God to fix it. We ask God to do something. And we did that.
Mhm.
And I explained to her in that moment, I was like, Asia, it's between her and God now. That's what they're saying. And she's like, no, but they can do. And I understand that because you grasp for any piece of light that you think you can find. You grasp for it. And I understand that. But that was my assignment that day, to help my daughter see the plain truth, because they didn't have time. They were working with Lori so hard. They didn't have time to explain.
Mhm.
They didn't have time for Asia to try to grasp it. They didn't have time for that. They were working on the baby.
Mhm.
And I understood that. And so that's where I feel she needed my wisdom. She needed the peace that was on me
Mhm.
to come in the room with her.
Mhm.
And that was my assignment that day. My
Mhm.
concern was my daughter,
Mhm.
because I knew we had entrusted Lori to God already. We had been praying, and we had been praying and asking God to do whatever it was He was going to do. And in other losses, we understand sometimes He takes them, and that's how He heals them.
Mhm.
So I understand that.
And I want to jump in here, Ingrid, and give you a chance to take a good deep breath. You're doing so great. I'm so proud of you. And I know you do know that because, as I mentioned at the outset, your brother Chris, you loved him dearly, your dad, your mom. Do you
And
feel
grandmother.
those and grandmother, you feel those losses helped to prepare you to come to a place of peace at that moment when you needed to? I know it was God helping you, but do you think those losses help to bring you to a place? Because you're right, we don't want to hear that he's healing on the other side. We want it on this side.
Right,
So
right.
did those losses help you to come to that place of peace?
Well, my my mother, well, Chris, Granny, and my father's, yes.
Okay.
And the reason I can carry it and walk in it is because I was completely tormented when my mother passed.
Hmm.
Completely.
Mhm.
Completely. I could not handle it. I did not handle it. I did not know how to ask God to help me through.
Mhm.
And this is all going in the next book for sure.
Mhm. And
Because
Ingrid, I'm
we
going to ask you, when you say you were tormented, do you feel like you can share some more of that? Why were you tormented?
I was tormented because I didn't know how to let her go.
Mhm.
I didn't want to let her go.
Mhm.
And for those who don't know us, I look just like her.
Mhm.
I'm shaped just like her. I mean, she was round, I'm round.
Mhm.
She was short, I'm short.
Mhm.
She was, her personality, her ways, her, it's like when you say somebody spit somebody out.
Mhm.
My mother spit me out.
Mhm.
And I couldn't I couldn't recover
Mhm.
because I always saw her and I always heard her in the things I said and did. And I always felt her in the way I handled things and the way I did things. And I wasn't ready for that. I had not prepared. There's no way for me to prepare myself for that. So, and
Mhm.
I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to handle it. Now, I cry out. I cry real tears. I call people. I text people. I do whatever I got to do to get that help. I used to have severe anxiety
Mhm.
where I couldn't breathe. I'd have to go, I have to stick my head in the freezer because I was trying to carry all that stuff on my own, on
Mhm.
top of being completely unhappy in relationships,
Mhm.
completely bogged down and cares of life, being a single mom. I had Asia when I was 24.
Mhm.
So all those things just compounded on each other. Eating, overweight, hating myself for that, hating myself for everything that went wrong in my life. Just, I didn't know how. I was around good people. So let me point that out. I was raised in a church. I've always been in churches where God was real, his anointing was real. Um, he always had me around good, good people, wonderful pastors, but I didn't let them in.
Mhm. Mhm.
I didn't let them in. I
Mhm.
can't say they didn't do this for me. They didn't do that for me like some people complain. I
Mhm.
can't say that cuz I didn't let them in.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, my pastors know every move I make if I need them to know. Cuz as long as sometimes I only just text them, pray for me. I'm not having a good day. I'm having this. I'm having that. Shout out to my pastor in West Virginia. He just always made sure I had good leaders.
Mhm.
Cuz in West Virginia is when I really had the attacks with the anxiety and whatnot.
Mhm.
And I was beginning to learn how to lean on my pastors
Mhm.
because they were available.
Mhm. Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah. I want to just
They
jump
were they
here
were
and
available.
let people know we're talking to Ingrid Poole, who is sharing with us some of her journey to this moment that we're about to talk about, where the doctors had said that they had done all that they could do for her beautiful granddaughter, Laurii'ell, and
Mhm.
she had to summons, and she said it was her assignment to be able to help her daughter come to terms with, while we're going to yet pray and ask God and believe God, his answer might be healing on the other side. And so, and we want to um, be a blessing to this family as they prepare to celebrate the life of this baby, 8-year-old baby. 8 years is not um, I mean, my goodness. The Cash App information and GoFundMe information is there. Cash App is on top so that you can
Thank
get
you.
access to help Ingrid and this family. 8-year old, just
Yeah.
imagine if you're hearing my voice or watching this, your 8-year old granddaughter or niece or cousin or child, and what it would be like for their life to end so early. And we can
Hmm.
say early because we expect them to have a long life. And we know
Right.
ultimately life is in God's hands, but 8 years is not a long time. And so
Hmm.
you can imagine this young mother, this grandmother, this family. And so, Ingrid, I want
A
to talk to you,
dad
and dad. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
father. Yeah.
I want to talk to you a little bit about once you had that discussion with your daughter about we're going to continue to pray, but they're saying that it's all that they can do. I think you said it's between her and God now. To pick
Hmm.
it up, back up there, and tell us what those moments when you and your daughter had to say goodbye to her. Um, I can only imagine. My heart is going out to you even more
Right.
now, and yet praying for strength for you walking through this. But I
Hmm.
know, Ingrid, that and you know that there
Yeah.
are people that will watch this. There are people that are going to experience what you're experiencing, and your standing in your assignment is going to help them in there. So I appreciate
Yeah.
you being so open and transparent. So
Hmm.
please continue
Thank
as you.
you.
Yeah.
So once I got clarity on what he was saying, because again, we're by the window. Me and Asia are by the window. The doctor's over there by us. The chaos is in front of us. There's a team out in the hall. There's a team in the room with us. So, like I said, it was just surreal, like something out of a movie. And
Hmm.
I was like, okay, okay, okay. So I, because that's a far long walk. So Asia had pushed me there in a wheelchair. So I took her out. I said, Asia, it's time to go out. We don't need to keep watching this. I don't want you to see this part. So we went in the hall so she could
Hmm.
still watch. She stayed in the hall. I
Hmm.
went down the hall to make my phone calls and get my prayer people praying with me. I needed to hear them
Mhm.
praying with me. I needed to, you know what I mean? I needed to
Mhm.
get in that.
Mhm.
I needed to be in that prayer moment right then. So I called several people. I called my pastor. I called my first lady. I called my sister. I called my cousins. They have a prayer group. I just was calling people who I knew would pray. I didn't
Mhm.
have time to answer questions. I needed them to pray.
Mhm.
And I just felt like, because when I anointed her feet, I anointed her legs, I anointed her stomach that I could see, I anointed her upper arms, and
Mhm.
I anointed her face.
Mhm.
And I told her, I said, God's gonna take care of you. And
Mhm.
she kind of shook her head, but she was so sedated.
Mhm.
She was coming in and out of consciousness, because they were
Mhm.
keeping her well
Mhm.
sedated. And I asked him, I said, I just don't want her in pain. I don't want her in pain. He said she won't be.
Yeah,
He said she won't be in pain.
because she had
So
experienced such severe burns over her body.
yeah, so changing the bandages was painful and stuff. So they kept her well sedated.
Yeah.
And when I went in the hall and I started calling the people to pray. I stayed where Asia could see me, but I
Mhm.
came down the hall so I could just step out of that moment and
Mhm.
and continue to pray because I just needed to stay in that moment. I needed to stay prayerful for her. I
Mhm.
needed God to take her through that moment. So I
Mhm.
called the father and I said, y'all got to make some decisions. You got to get up here. So, because they didn't want too many people. So when he came, I left after
Mhm.
3 o'clock.
Mhm.
Before 6, they were calling us back up there, but it was already other family members and people like that. So I stayed here with the kids so
Mhm.
we could pray. We could still pray. I'm on the phone, just on the phone praying with people.
Mhm.
They told us that the medicine would um, give her, give her heart failure.
Mhm.
So I got here after 6 because I picked my husband up. After 7, Asia called to say that she had cardiac arrest and they were doing the CPR. So I told her we were praying. I said, we're still praying. Just breathe, Asia. Just breathe and let God help you. That's why I just told her, just let God help you. He'll help you. Just breathe deep and let him help you. Just let him help you. Because I couldn't handle the crowd that was there. I needed to stay quiet so I
Mhm.
could pray. I couldn't handle, family members and hospital people. I needed to stay quiet so I
Mhm.
could pray. And the next call, her sister called me to tell me that she had passed.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, and I instantly put it on Facebook because I knew it was so many people
Mhm.
that were praying. And I said, thank you so much for your prayer because she had passed. And I just want to say that God was in it throughout the whole process,
Mhm.
and He's in it now
Mhm.
because we have so many people who have blessed us, who have called us. I'm kind of the spokesperson right now because my daughter is so overwhelmed
Sure.
and I don't want her to deal with all this other stuff. I've talked to the uh, newspaper. I mean, I talked to Channel 4, Channel 7, and I talked to Channel 4 after she passed because I want that department investigated.
Mhm.
I said my daughter can't handle this part, but I can
Mhm.
because it's the second fire in less than 2 years in
Mhm.
different buildings.
Mhm.
I said I don't care if people get misplaced, help them find somewhere to go. I don't care. Somebody has passed, and it just happened to be my granddaughter.
Mhm.
But if they handled that first fire, my daughter's fire might not have happened.
Mhm.
I said, I don't know who you got to talk to. I want some answers.
Mhm.
Point blank, period. I don't care. I need some answers.
Yeah.
I said, it's not safe. It's not safe.
Yeah.
So I just want to, I thank you so much for this opportunity, Marcus, because we never would have, could have imagined the response because we've never needed this kind of help before. We've never needed it like this. And God has just blessed us so that I just can't explain. I wake up in the morning to cash apps. I see times where people cash at me at like 2 in the morning. Like people, I, I've been reaching out to people because we're working on a bill. We got to finish the bill for the funeral, and I trust God. I know He's gonna help us to do it.
Mhm.
I know He's gonna help us to do it, and it's just overwhelming because they're just they're just coming forward. So many people are just coming forward. I have a tote for each child. I have two totes for my daughter where people are just blessing me with stuff. She's got a fryer already for her kitchen. It's like we just have to wait. I'm like asking people, just wait, let her get in her house first. And then we'll bless her again. You know what I'm saying? Because people just want to help.
Yeah.
People really do. They just feel they so sad and they feel for us. They feeling with us.
Yeah.
And I just, my concern is my daughter because I want her to just be strong and let God help her and Michael, Asia and Michael. Just pray for them, Asia and Michael. Because as the mother and the grandmother, it's like that's a different pain because I can't help them through this. I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna lean on God and I'm gonna help raise these three she got left, and I'm gonna help her through as best I can. But
Yeah.
to just watch your child suffer as she watched her child suffer, I know it was nothing but God that helped is helping. It's
Yeah.
nothing but Him, and I don't mind telling people. You take a day at a time, an hour at a time. Sometimes you can't get through. You just be like, Lord, I can't make it. I can't make it. But I promise people, I promise you, if you just lean on God, just lean all the way in, He will help you. He will.
Yes. You are
He
a
will
fitting
help me.
example of that. And I'm going to
He will
ask you a
help
little
me.
bit more about that because I think we all, though this is so tragic, Ingrid, I think we can all glean something from, one Saturday things were well, the Wednesday things are not. And sometimes in life that happens. And unless we find the resolve that I think that you're leaning
Huh?
on and you're doing great, take a deep breath. But we got to find that same resolve as we go through. I want to ask you, and I see Kevin
Okay.
Scott has joined us, Valencia Etner, Tiffany, Danny has joined us, Dewan Sample. Thank you so much, Tim Ruffin. I hope all of you will click share. We're talking to Ingrid Poole, Sherry Williams, Nancy Capers have joined us, who is the grandmother of the angel Laurii'ell, who was taken away from us in the house fire. And they are still in need of some assistance in trying to handle the final arrangements. The Cash App information is there that goes directly to Ingrid, who is the grandmother, who is sharing with us those last moments as we go, as we walk with her through these moments and times of transition. I want to ask you about your three grandchildren because they're very young, and it would be difficult for them to really understand that their big sister isn't coming back. So I want to ask you about them and what's the conversation been like with them? Their big sister was in the fire with them and then she doesn't come home. What's the conversation been like?
Right. Well, Asia and them came over here because she passed Saturday night, and after 8 o'clock p.m. So it was, it was a long night, and I couldn't tell them because I wanted their mother and daddy to be here. So we waited till they got here Sunday morning, and it was just so hard because I was getting all these calls, and I was just trying to fake it. And they're so used to me being here because, like, funny story, I was just on the car talking on the phone, and my two grandsons are in here with Maya. The 3-year-old pretty much came to the front door like, I'm taking too long to get out the car.
Mm-hmm.
She called me and was like, your grandson is ready for you to come in the house. I said, okay, tell him I'm coming, I'm coming. And I'm in the car talking, whatever. He comes to the front door like, woman, I'm not playing with you. I'm ready for you to come in the house. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, I'm coming. So that just tickled my whole soul. But that's kind of what happens with us over here because they so used to me being right here with them,
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of doing things with them. And it's like every time I got a call, I would leave the room the night she passed. So I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And they're right behind me, following me. Like, I'm like, okay, go watch cartoons. Grandma's coming. I'll be right back, okay? I'll be right back. And I'm like trying to cry so they don't see. And I'm like, oh my God. So it was a long night, but we made it through. And then the Asian them came and told them what happened. Then they took them with them so they could spend time with their cousins and stuff. So it's just, because they just take a day at a time. And I just really want to just stress the emphasis that we have to have God. We have to.
Mm-hmm.
We have to. This is not bearable without Him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I know He with me because, I'm getting texts, I'm getting prophecies, I'm getting just, I don't sleep well anyway. My husband, our schedule's all off, so I'm up and down. And I'm just, looking at the Facebook. Like I said, I get cash apps at 2 something in the morning. People, I don't recognize their names. And I'm like, he's causing people to think about us that know nothing about us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a blessing because people don't have to do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to help you. They don't have to feel sorry for you. They don't have to do anything. And he's just blessing so many people
Yeah.
to bless us. And I want to iterate. There is a GoFundMe, but that's for their house.
Okay.
My prayer is for them to have that for their house.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not trying to overdo nothing. We're not trying to get more than what God has for us. I
Mm-hmm.
just want the funeral paid for
Mm-hmm.
separately
Yeah.
so that they don't have to worry about anything when they move into their home.
Yeah. And thank you, Brenda Bracewell. She's also sending up fervent prayer, she says in the comments, as well as Leonard saying, praying for you, my sister. Love you, Ingrid. So
Thank
just
you.
to clarify for people, they lost everything in this fire. And so they have to have another place to live, furnishings for that place, clothes for their children, clothes for themselves, and to bury this beautiful angel,
Yeah,
Laurii'ell, whose name I'm in love with that spelling. I love it. It's such a pretty name for such
yeah,
a pretty little girl. My
yeah.
goodness. And so the GoFundMe, again, for clarity, is to support their
That's for
next,
their home. I want that for their home.
and then the others are to help to close out the matters for the
The
burial
funeral.
and service
Yes,
for
and
the
like I
deceased.
said, the Lord has blessed because that funeral was, my she's at Haley
Mhm,
over on Northwestern Highway at Evergreen. My
mhm,
friend, brother, Bishop Mario Marcus has
mhm,
helped us out tremendously.
mhm.
Excuse me. He's helped us as much as he can. So we got the funeral, with donations and whatnot, it's down to 2,000 some odd dollars.
Okay.
And so we believe God. It's gonna happen. It's happening. People are, somebody called me yesterday. They're putting a check in the mail. It's just I put on Facebook the other day. He's blessing our fragments, and we know how God does that. So
Mhm,
we're convinced we're gonna meet that goal. We're gonna get it paid for. It's
mhm,
just we just need more help. We've been doing what we're supposed to do. We paid as much as we could pay.
mhm.
There is a charity that's supposed to give $850 tomorrow. Um, I will get, notified as soon as that money is sent over, so we'll know that it's, to knock that price down.
Mhm.
But we're been working. Listen, that's why I'm just excited about it because I know God is handling it, and He's just using this opportunity to show who He really can be for us.
Mhm. I wanted to
And
ask
I'm
you about that,
just
and I know that it's that's a tough question. The tough question in my mind is, what do you say to the children? Um, because even us, like children, sometimes in our faith, we don't understand why God does what He does when He does. And so we're introducing our children to God, and they're watching us model out our faith.
hmm
What are the questions that you're prepared to answer about, what
well,
is happening?
we tell them like they understand death in their mind the way they see it. Like they knew when the one of the cat passed.
Mhm,
They know their grandma Taya
mhm,
passed. They know Grandma Lillian passed. So they understand, but because L'Oreal is so fresh
mhm,
in their mind, I'm sure they still may feel like, well, she's just at the doctor.
mhm,
She's still with the doctor.
mhm,
She's still sick. She just can't come
mhm,
home right now. So over time,
mhm,
we'll be working with them to make sure they understand,
mhm,
she's in heaven with Jesus.
mhm,
She's not here anymore, but you can feel free to talk about her because they talk about Grandma Taya all the time. So
mhm,
we want to allow them to be able to talk because sometimes kids get muffled out because of the
mhm,
parents, because of adults' pain.
mhm,
And you may not want to talk about that person at that moment. You may be having an okay moment, and now this baby want to talk about them, and you get all toe up. But it's
mhm,
important that you let them babies remember and let them talk when they need to talk, and that's one of the things I know they did over here because they talk about their grandma Lillian and
mhm,
grandma Taya all the time.
mhm, mhm,
So they understand it's just in their way and
mhm,
in their timing.
mhm,
Um, and we talk about how God blessed everybody to come out the fire because everybody got out. And it just so happened that she actually had some flame injuries. So
mhm,
she, was immediately taken to
mhm,
children's.
mhm.
But those are definitely things that have to be talked about because I think children get, I won't say ignored, but it's so overwhelming for an adult that sometimes the children just don't get their chance.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, and it certainly might be helpful to have a Christian counselor, someone else, I'm sure,
hmm
to at some points along this journey to have conversations
Yeah,
with them and to just be there to listen and hear as
yeah.
well.
Especially
Uh,
with them being a part of the fire.
yeah,
I personally want to look into and make sure, see how the parents want to handle that because I just want to make sure, the fear factor, if they're dreaming or something, I just want to make sure that they're well rounded and that they understand that part of the healing process as well.
yeah. I can't imagine how parents would cope with this and deal with it. And so I want to ask you, in these early moments of the journey, um, what has your conversation been like with your daughter and son? What's the conversation been like?
Right now, they're just taking a day at a time. There's a lot of family. They're between his sister and a hotel in here. So there's just, we're just taking a day at a time because, like I said, it's very overwhelming for them as well because they got all these, these you got charities trying to talk to them. The fire inspectors are on them, talking to them. You know, maybe the news again. I'm not sure what their day to day actions have actually been, but It's it's just kind of chaotic right now. So we're just trying to take a day at a time, make sure everybody's good. If you need to call and cry for a second, get that cry off of you. You just
Mhm.
got because you got to get it out when it's happening. I don't encourage anybody to try to hold that kind of stuff in. It's too powerful. I went to church Sunday, the morning after she passed, because that's what I do afternoon, because that's what I do. That's strength for me.
Mhm.
And they were dedicating a baby,
Mhm.
and I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared, and it took over so fast. I just couldn't almost it almost knocked me to my knees.
Mhm.
And my friend Rita was there, and First Lady Brinkley's sister was there, and they just kind of followed me to the lounge and prayed for me and helped me get myself together. And they were like, "I'm so sorry." I was like, It's a beautiful thing. I'm not taking anything away from that."
Mhm.
I was like, I just couldn't handle it, and I would have just sat out in the hallway or something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Until that part
Mhm.
was over,
Mhm.
because it was beautiful, and it just took me straight to my
Mhm.
grandbaby not here no more. And
Mhm.
I wasn't ready. I
Mhm.
wasn't. I was like, oh my God. It's like my breath was leaving me. I was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out. It's like I didn't know where to go outside. Like I said, I used to have them attacks. I put my face in the freezer. I didn't know what to do. So I was just blessed that everything happened that way, and they like, got myself together, and um I went back in when they sat down and thoroughly enjoyed the rest of the service. So, and then things like that, you have to be strategic so that the enemy doesn't use those things to always knock you off balance.
Yeah. That's good. That's
Because
good.
if I had given into it and went home, then I would have missed whatever he did for me in the duration of the service. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And you could have left with a spirit of offense, like,
Right,
and on the wrong way. So I love that you
right,
shared that.
right.
Curtis
Or even
Williams.
stayed home, or
Mhm.
even stayed home and didn't go to church at all. Period.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I can't do it. But that's not how I'm built. I
Right.
need the power of God. I need to
Yeah.
be there. It's like I did okay when churches were closed, because my church closed for a minute, but only, because of to being safe and stuff. But as soon as it was open, I was back in there, because I'm one of those who thoroughly enjoy live church services and all the shenanigans
Yeah. So Curtis
that
Williams has
happen.
joined us. Vicky Johnson Williams have joined us. Thank you both. I hope you will click share. We're talking with Ingrid Poole, who is preparing to bid farewell on this side to her beautiful 8-year-old granddaughter, Laurii'ell. And the
Mhm.
Cash App information is there so that you can help us support this family as they prepare to close out the arrangements for burial for her in
Yeah.
celebration of her life, as well as to help this family find its footing because her daughter and son lost everything in this fire except their 3 children. And of course, they lost Laurii'ell in this
Yeah.
fire. Ingrid, before we go, because I want to encourage people again to give to the Cash App, and I will put up the
Mhm.
flyer on my page that
Okay.
tells them about the service and continue to hopefully encourage people to send you donations. We're going to be sending one from the Love and Stuff community. We love you.
Thank
You're
you.
a
Thank
valued
you
part
so
of this
much.
Stuff community. We're proud of
Thank
you as an
you.
author. And in this
Thank
life,
you.
sister, I can tell you, I don't know. You never know what strength God will give you. I know you're standing in the strength of God right now.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
and He is the only one that could give you the strength that you have.
Yes.
I don't even know that I could bring myself to this. I'm holding back the tears because today is my sister Vanessa's birthday. She would have been
Okay.
7, and I am holding back the tears. And so I'm holding them back because I'm so proud of how God is standing in you. And I I am praying for you because I know your daughter
Thank you.
needs that strength, your son needs that strength, those children need that strength, all of your entire
Yes.
family needs that strength.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that you know that there are those standing with you so that you don't only have to be the strength, you can lean into some of that strength too.
Yes.
I want to ask you to encourage people just as you've encouraged me, and I know there are other viewers who are probably encouraged. How are you standing? How are you standing, Ingrid?
I am standing because God is real. He's real. Because I have had to, it's not just me. If it was just me, then I probably would, fall apart, give in, do whatever grief does to you. But I've taken on the stance that I need God to do it in me. I need to let God do it in me so my daughter can see. She feels it. She told me she feels it. She know he with her. She know he's blessing these people to give to us that don't know nothing about us. They give it to us. I mean, it's just overwhelming. It is. It's my church family. God bless them. I go to Spirit of Access Church, God Christ. Pastor Brinkley, Celeste Brinkley, I'm my pastor, First Lady. I'm a part of Southwest Jurisdiction number 2. My bishop is Bishop the White Walls, and they're in Memphis. They've called me. They've surrounded me. He said they sent out a text. I'm getting all kind of messages and whatnot. So I feel like I'm not standing at all, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like they got me. I feel like they're carrying me. I feel them carrying me. It's like I don't have a chance. I cry every day, so I'm not worried about that. I'm the biggest crybaby I know. So I don't have no problem crying. I understand that. I cry when I'm happy, I'm cry when I'm sad, I cry when I get mad. You better watch out. But I cry a lot, so that's not an issue for me. I understand. That's a release that I need. But my 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 assignment in this, and this is what I guess is what's, you know, putting the nail in the coffin to speak for me is I gotta get my daughter through this. I gotta get her through. I gotta be there for the moments that she don't lean on God. I gotta be there so she can lean on me. It's like I wanna catch her. I wanna catch her. So that when she hits those moments where she don't know to call on God, she can call on me. And then I call on God for both of us because she's had that moment. She called, she was washing clothes and she just lost it. And she kept saying, I just need my mama. I just need my mama. I just need my mama. And I told her, you're perfectly fine. You're supposed to call me. You have no problem. I have no problem calling me. Call me. Call me. So if that's what she has to do, that's what I need her to do because if my mama was here, I would call my mama. If my grandmama was here, I would call my grandma. So this is the first time, Marcus, that I've had such a tragedy in my life and they not here for me. So I have to lean on God because the other people I would lean on are not here no more. But they put it in me. I know it's in there.
It's in
I
there
know
more
it's in
than you
there.
know. It
I
is.
know it's in there. And I wouldn't worry about it if it was just me.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't worry about it if it was just me. But I gotta help my baby. I gotta help her. I gotta help my daughter and Michael. Cause we gotta raise these other three. We can't lose them
Mm-hmm.
because we lost Laurii'ell. And only God can help us do that. And I know that. I know that. I'm okay.
You're doing so great.
I'm
You're doing,
okay.
you're doing so great. And he's standing up in you and surrounding you.
But I
You
just
have
want
those.
everybody who see this to understand you
Mhm,
gotta trust God in everything.
mhm,
You have to
mhm.
go in your room and watch cartoons. Go in the room and watch cartoons. That's a 17-year-old. So all is well.
All is well.
We accept his will. And he's proving that he's already made the way. He's already provided it. We just have to be in place and do our part. Today is us. We don't know who it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah. Ingrid, I want to thank you so much for sharing with such candor and sharing with such transparency what you are going through. This is, I know, very fresh, but I wanted to use the platform today to increase the amount of love in the world, to let you know that you're not alone. And I know you have a balcony of angels who you wish were in the earth space to walk you through this. But we stand in league with them to be not a substitute, but the best representative for them that we can be in this earth,
Yeah.
and stand with you through what we know is probably the most difficult thing you've ever had to face, and help your daughter to face.
Yeah.
And I am just thankful for a mother's love, because that's what you're describing. You got to be there for your baby. And I don't think I've ever heard it said that way, but you got to be there for her for when she doesn't have the presence of mind to call on God. So you can call on God and he can help you both.
Yeah.
And nothing encapsulates the mother's love more than that to me, because that's what a mother would do. A mother wants to be able to catch her baby, even if her baby is 24, 10, 59, 82,
Yeah.
and, and help them come into the presence of God. And when they can't, that mother will go into the presence of God for the both of them. And so thank you for demonstrating what increasing the amount of love in the world means, and we hope to
Thank
join
you.
you and help you as you walk throughout this journey. Before we go, is there anything closing that you wanted to share before we go? Again, the Cash App information is there. It's the $ IP Curtis. It's the preferred way we want you to give so that they can close out the arrangements, the
I also
financial
have
arrangements.
PayPal, Marcus.
Oh, you got to give me that so I can drop it in the comments. I don't think I have that.
Okay. It's my
So,
email.
okay. All right. Make sure maybe I have that somewhere, but I want to make sure we get it in
It's
the
Ingrid Poole #8 at Gmail.
Ingrid Poole.
Poole #8
Eight,
at Gmail.
just eight, right?
The number 8
Yeah, Ingrid Poole 8
at
at
Gmail.
Gmail.
Because I'm going, I got to take some money to the funeral home tomorrow.
Okay. All right. All right. Hopefully that's populating everywhere. All right. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you
Thank
want to
you.
share with us before we let you go?
Nope, just trust God. Get to know Him real good. Because when nothing else helps, He will.
Mhm,
He's proven Himself over and over again. He will never let you down.
mhm. Thank you so much, Ingrid, for being with us. God's
Thank you
blessings
for
and
having
prayers to
me.
you. And
I really appreciate it.
we're gonna continue to support. And please let your daughter and son and children know that, and grandchildren know, and husband know that we're praying for you all.
Okay, thank you. I will.
Okay.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
That was Ingrid Poole, a woman of faith, a grandmother, a wife, an author, a valued member of the Love and Stuff community, walking through a journey of hurt and grief and sorrow and tragedy. And you and I, in ways, are not unlike Ingrid in this journey that we walk through. Today may not be our day to say goodbye to someone that we have loved, whose life is shorter than we thought their lifespan would be. Today may not be the time when you are contending with a fiery trial or circumstance. And I don't want to forecast as a meteorologist would and say a dark day is coming your way. But in the event it does, I want to encourage you to be inspired by this woman of faith who says, get to know the quintessential love God and lean into him. You see, we all need to experience a love that we can lean into. Whether it is the love of your husband or your wife, your boo, your bae, your parents, your children, your siblings, your kindred and acquaintance, as they say, we all need to be able to have a love that we can lean into. And I submit that the first love that we lean into is the quintessential love. It is God. He is love. And he's intended for us to be awakened to his love, that we will mirror that love back to him. And with all our mind, soul, and body and strength, that we will love him. And then our neighbors as ourselves. I want you to sit in that for a moment, because it might be hard to provide that love to others when you feel broken or you feel deeply stained by grief. But I'm here to tell you that you can do it by leaning into that quintessential love for strength, to remember that if he's brought you to it, he'll bring you through it, and that you'll never go through it all alone. You might be like Ingrid and realize that there are so many others, I'm like her too, that are on the balconies of heaven, I like to say, that are cheerleaders cheering us on, but they're not in the earth school for us to hear audibly their voice, though we might hear it in our minds or touch the coolness or warmth of their skin. But they feel present with us as this uh, army of angels that are with us. But we also need some people in the physical. And I believe that if we work to increase the amount of love in the world, we can be that for someone else, and someone will be that for us. I'm grateful that you've joined us for what I know is an important show, because if it's not about love, it really isn't about much. And I hope that you have enough love in your heart that you will go to that Cash App. Cash App is $IP Curtis. And we will drop in I did drop in the comments, Ingrid Poole 8 at Gmail is her PayPal. If you want to pay, give through PayPal, or the GoFundMe link is there. The first two that I mentioned are to help Ingrid with the burial cost, help her daughter with the burial cost at Haley Funeral Home here in Metro Detroit and Southfield, Michigan. And then the GoFundMe is to help this family. Her daughter and son and children lost everything in the fire. Not only in Laurii'ell, they lost everything in the fire. So they have to literally have clothes and all of the things that you would have in your home. We want to help them to have those as well. And so we do believe in this Love and Stuff community. This platform is more than just about salacious topics. It's more than just about 36 questions that lead to love, though those are important aspects. It's about increasing the amount of love in the world that makes a difference in someone else's life. And I think a hymn that said it something like this: if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody that he or she is traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain. I hope you will join us inside of Love and Stuff. It is a group that we've started inside of Love and Stuff for those that are on a self-care journey and on a loving me more journey. You should join us and go to our page under the group section to join us there. Of course, the gratefulness journey every day. What are you doing in the next 30 days to transform your life is available on Amazon. Ingrid, you can go to her page. Her book is available as well. We have many authors within the Love and Stuff community, so we want you to support them. And we put out a new product. I can't put my hands on it, I don't think. I'll find it somewhere, but we're inside of Love and Stuff, and we were doing the 6-minute ab workout. If you're interested in that, drop in the comments ab workout, and we'll get that link to you. But there's a new product on our Shopify store. I have a 6-pack. I just haven't unpacked it yet. Is what this logo is, and so I'll have to do a live shopping so that you'll be able to see that, and you might be able to get a good discount if you're interested in purchasing that. Love and Stuff gear. I'm grateful that all of you have joined. I'm Marcus Holmes, the love activist. I need you to do one more thing before you depart. Click share and tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, YouTube connections, subscribers, or followers on Twitch TV, 5 of the more popular ones, to share with Ingrid by going to that Cash App now and increasing the amount of love in the world for the grandmother who adored her 8-year-old angel, who is now at rest after having succumbed to a house fire, an apartment fire, in which the family lost everything. And unfortunately, the loss of life of Laurii'ell, who was only 8 years old. I hope that you will support this family. Join us in doing it. Join us next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. We'll keep the celebration going. That's right, the celebration of life. The celebration of life is might feel fleeting for some, but we say goodbye in death, but we celebrate life because people were, because they existed, because we made memories with them. Come back to Love and Stuff in this community and make memories with us as we continue to live out this mission of increasing the amount of love in the world. I'm Marcus Holmes. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a grateful evening, and we hope to see you here soon.